Okay, thank you, Shivani Doshi, for coming on the Healthy Indian podcast. As you know, that I've always wanted you on for a while now, so I'm glad you came on. I know you're just a brown girl with a skincare obsession. You're big on TikTok and YouTube. You're a dermatology assistant, and you're right now in applying for physical associate school. So physician's associate school. I'm not a medical major, but yeah, you know the gist. And I'm glad that you came on the show, and I know you're really big on skincare. So further ado, let's talk about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So thank you for being on, first of all. So what got you into health and beauty? And I guess, what got you into that?
Yeah, well, honestly, in middle school, I had like really bad acne, and it was so bad that I had to wear makeup every single day to cover it up, or at least I felt like I did. And I remember I went to like the dermatologist, and she told me like, "Oh, you should cut out dairy and see what happens." And I did, and that's when I became vegan and my skin cleared. And then I just started from there wanting to learn more about skincare and like how it works and what you can do to clear your skin. And that's kind of when my whole obsession started. And I've always also wanted to go into medicine from a young age. I actually was pre-med for a really long time, and I recently switched over to pre-PA. And so, I kind of found that balance between my interest in skincare and in derm and then medicine.
Awesome. So what makes you want to do skincare today? Because I know like you're really big on it, but what keeps you motivated to keep, pursuing skincare? Like, because you know so many facts, like just from Instagram, you know so much that I have no idea about. So it's just cool to know that your Instagram is almost like a lookbook, or like almost like I can learn stuff from it. So I like it. It's cool. So
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that there's just so much to learn. Like when I first started working in dermatology, it was unlike any other specialty I'd worked in before, in the sense that there's a big variety of things. It's not only cosmetics, but it's also a lot in the medical realm of skincare. And skin, it's our largest organ. So, there's a focus on not just the face, but also the whole body. And so it's really interesting to me. And I think also what's gotten me interested in and motivated to post about it on social media is that there's a big need to educate people on how to truly take care of their skin. And like, as you might know, in the brown community in India, especially, there's a big, skin lightening obsession, right? And I think that there's that lack of education where people feel like, oh, I need to put bleach on my skin, when in reality, no, you need to find the root problem, whether it's pigmentation or melasma, and like learn how to treat that. And so I think that's really what motivates me, is that need.
have you helped friends and family like treat their skin? Just out of curiosity.
I have, yeah. Actually, I'm making over my brother, my parents, my boyfriend, my best friends, all of their skin. I've redone their whole skincare routine.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, like I remember when I was in a relationship, the girl that I was dating, she got me really into skincare. To this day, I still use CeraVe, and I use coconut oil every other day, just for my hair and for my skin. Luckily for this episode, I shaved my face. So, this is the first time I've shaved in 5-6 years. So like,
Wow.
just, I look like a 5-year-old, and I can't wait till people see my skin. But, yeah, no, that's awesome. So like, I guess, so how do you explain like, acne and stuff? Cause I know with me personally, I don't struggle with it, but I know a lot of people do. So I wanted maybe your advice on it for those that are listening and they're struggling with acne. I thought it'd be a good, a good like kind of exercise to go through with you, maybe like what they can do to like find help. Cause I know there's so much out there, and sometimes so much is not so good. So what would you recommend, and how can they cure some of their acne and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, acne is difficult. There's a lot of different types of acne. I think, there's a lot of just daily habits that people can change in order to reduce their risk of breaking out more, like, not touching and picking at your face, and not using products that contain oils in them or, pore clogging ingredients like, vitamin E, for example, can sometimes clog pores. Washing your pillowcase often, those are just, little things that you can do on a daily basis, washing your face masks. But I think it really depends. There's so many different types of acne in general. There's ingredients like benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid that can be really helpful in targeting pimples. But I think if you're struggling with acne, it's important to see a dermatologist because skincare is so personal. And so it's important to have someone who can look at your skin and show you products that are good for you.
Absolutely. Like I use CeraVe and I use different kinds of essential oils that are like almost homemade from like an Indian, Indian like recipe, but it helps me with my skin. And I also drink a lot of water, which is, I think it's hard for people to do just because they're not into just drinking unorthodox amount of water. But I think it helps, especially with me and green tea. So I've been pretty big on skincare for a while, but I don't use all the products that someone that's a fanatic of skincare does. So do you use, how many products do you use? Because I was curious to know that too. I feel like you know so much. So like, do you use like a lot of products or just like, it depends on the day or something?
I don't. I mean, my skin is really acne prone. It's really sensitive. And so I've learned over time that less is more. When I experiment with something new, it usually doesn't go well. And so I don't do like that many products. I have one cleanser. I don't even use a vitamin C serum. I use a moisturizer and I have a sunscreen and I have a retinol. So I have 4 products that I use and that's really it. I mean, I don't experiment much. But yeah, my skin's just very sensitive. I break out very easily. So I think less is more when it comes to, at least for my skin. Yeah.
Is there a certain kind of skincare products, like one would say like slaps, like amazing skincare product, 10 out of 10, or it just varies on like people's circumstances?
Ooh, I mean, in my opinion, a retinol slaps. I think everyone and their mother should be using a retinol. It's the pillar of anti-aging, good for acne, good for pigmentation, good for wrinkles. Like, I think everyone should use that.
Okay, I guess I'll start using it because I definitely don't use it. I just use Thale and CeraVe, and I drink a lot of water. So I don't know if that has it in it, but I've been doing it for like 10 years. I look like I'm 10. So it's all good.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you. I get that a lot. I get like perfect. What do you call that thing? Perfect skin or something?
glass
Or whatever.
skin. I have glass skin.
Yes, something like that. I don't know. But I get that a lot from my friends. And the funny thing is I don't really, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I don't do anything about it. Yeah, I know, SMH, right? So when it comes to, I guess, skincare, with mental health, switching gears a little bit, what do you think like mental health has an impact on skin and the way like women and guys like kind of, show off confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I think skin can have an impact on mental health. I think that, a lot of times, it's like I can speak from my own experience. When I had a lot of acne, I definitely didn't feel super confident in my skin, and I felt like I always had to cover it up. And I think that's the case for a lot of people when you're suffering from a skin condition and you feel like people are judging you based on the way you look and you don't feel confident enough and you're comparing yourself to others. And it can be really difficult. Like you said, you never have to deal with that. And I think that, people who have to deal with it, they're like, they're probably so jealous, right? Like, oh my gosh, he doesn't really do much for skin and like he has perfect skin. And I think it's hard for people to accept that, everyone's skin is different. And at the end of the day, I think you can't let it affect you so much. Like, if you like, no one's judging you for your pimples, your acne. I think that it's something most people do experience, and you just have to try your best. And at the end of the day, like, your skin is not something that you can always control. There's so many different factors. It's like hormones, it's diet, it's pollution. It's like so many random things. And so I think it's really hard, but I was there and I understand. So, don't let your skin get you down. Yeah.
I've seen so many women that I've spoken to that have changed their skincare game, and it's been like amazing. Like I see like those collages they do like before after, and I see such good effects, and I'm like so happy for people when it happens because I know like like, just experiencing anything appearance wise, it can bring your confidence down, like weight loss, skincare, even having a receding hairline, especially, right? So, no, definitely, I think it's important, and mental health is like an ongoing thing, and for me personally, I think, if you look good, you feel good, right? So, yeah, like skincare is so important.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything when it comes to skincare? Like, how did you get motivated to, I guess, pursue skincare? What was the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as I said before, I think my acne really motivated me to want to learn how can I take care of my skin, what products work with my skin, and then even going further and saying like what diet changes can I make? I think that really, affected me in all sorts of ways. Like I've been vegan for like 13 years now, and like it all started with my skin. And I think like now I'm aware of like what to look for in products, like what works for oily acne prone skin. And so I think it was just really my own experience that motivated me to educate myself about my own skin. And then, I just really loved derm when I started working in it, and it's just very fascinating to me. And I kind of just wanted to constantly learn more. And soon my friends were just asking me for like recommendations, and I gave them free samples that I got, and like I just got really into it. And now, I just my Instagram has kind of blown up a little bit because I think people can see I'm really passionate about it. I mean, in my free time, like I'm such a nerd. I'll read about skincare and like watch dermatology videos, and so yeah.
I'm like that with like animals. I'm like, I always find animals to be fascinating, so I'm like always on like Animal Planet, watching like animal behavior and stuff. I don't know why, but I just find it so
Yeah,
fascinating.
it's fascinating.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything that fascinates you, I feel like you should go for it. Plus, I feel like when you're creating content, you're not really having you're not it's not like you're not having fun, like you're making content, you're having fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like every single post you do, like I saw that one post that blew up, you had like 23,000 likes, but I was like, wow, like it's actually really helpful for people that really need it, right? So I thought that was really cool, and I thought your lighting was really good, and I felt like, the post after that and the post after that, you really try to connect with the audience. So like, what's next for you for Instagram? Like, constantly how do you plan the next post? Is it usually just like you read something and then you're like, okay, this is something that I could like talk about or something? Like, what is skincare content to you? How does that look like?
I mean, I think at this point, it's really motivated by what my followers want. I think my audience has changed from mostly being US based to now it's actually majority India based, and a lot of them have similar questions about pigmentation. That's like a big issue for anyone who has darker skin. Any like Southeast Asian populations suffer from pigmentation, and I think that there's a lot of questions surrounding that. So I try to answer those, and I just find like the common questions that people leave in my DMs and comments, and I kind of try to let those guide me into what I should learn about next and educate myself about next, and then how I can make that accessible and how people can easily understand that information. I think that's sort of how I'm navigating Instagram right now. But at first it was really just like whatever I wanted to talk about, and I slowly learned like, you kind of also have to follow what your audience is interested in. So yeah.
I think it's really interesting because when I went to Asia, in Cambodia, they were huge on skincare. It
Mm-hmm.
was like amazing. Like if you didn't take care of your skin, you're basically kind of looked down at.
Right.
So in third world countries, it's education. The education is not there. So I think what you're doing is very impactful, and I think there's a reason why you have such a big following. And I think moving forward, you're going to do some great things when it comes to like helping people, especially men too, right? Men
Yeah.
have skincare stuff. I have a friend who has acne, and he's always trying like different kinds of like sea salt or something
Yeah.
to like make sure his face stays afloat. So I think, I think it's going to be really good for mental health too.
Yeah.
But well, yeah, so yeah, that's that. But I think I have, okay, cool. So, okay, so, uh, so do you feel I guess mental health plays a role in skincare? I think you answered that. Oh, does Rogaine make thinning hair completely invisible? Like, is Rogaine helpful? Because I know you advertised it on your post, but like, is it one of those things that helps hair last or no?
So, as far as I know, rogaine is great for like stimulating hair growth, but it's one of those things where you have to keep taking it in order for it to keep providing you with benefits. I think a lot of people think, oh, they can apply Rogaine solution to their scalp for 3 months and then they won't have to take it and their hair loss will subside. And, no, if you stop taking it, you're going to go back to baseline. So, yeah, as far as I know, like topical Rogaine, you still have to take it. It's kind of like a vitamin in that sense. The only thing that can really help to permanently fix hair loss is really just like hair transplant. As far as I know, or whoever invents, something that's not doesn't require surgery is going to be a millionaire, billionaire. So, yeah.
It looks so painful. Like I see people, YouTubers like Bradley Martin, go there to Turkey and he does like the needle treatment and he gets his entire hair back. There's another YouTuber called Mike Miljack. He used it as well, so kudos to them. But it looks painful, so definitely I understand that it's definitely a market where people's mental health is a little questioned. And I definitely think like Rogaine does a great job at, like I guess like sedating the issue, but the real issue is I guess maybe like correcting it. But again, it's one of those things where like it's a personal choice, so you can't really,
Yeah. I mean,
control
hair
it.
loss as well
Um,
definitely does affect your mental health. I think that, it's really difficult when
yeah,
you just suddenly start shedding hair and you don't know why. And I think a big part of it's genetics, honestly, and that's the hardest part, I think. But for some people, like, it just happens because they're stressed. Like there is one condition where hair loss just happens when you've gone through a stressful event and it eventually it stops. You stop losing your hair, and you won't go bald, but it's really difficult. Like I think hair, just like our skin, right? Like when our hair is healthy and our skin's healthy, we feel confident. And so it's definitely difficult. It definitely does affect mental health.
yeah, definitely. Did you have any mental health challenges? I guess when you did have like skin, like now your skin's great, but when you did, were you growing up and you didn't know too much about skincare? Did you have any mental health challenges with that?
I mean, yeah, I definitely felt like, I guess not embarrassed, but I definitely felt like shy. Like I didn't want to go out of my house without makeup on when I was in middle school. And like a lot of other people my age had perfect skin and they would eat whatever they wanted and they would always touch their face. And I would come home and I'd be like, well, how did they have perfect skin? Like I do everything, right? Like I'm eating well, like I'm using the right products and I go to the dermatologist and I'm still breaking out. And so I think that definitely got me feeling down. Now looking back, it's like,
Right.
well, there's so many factors that you can't control. Like when you're a teenager, you're going through puberty and your hormones are going crazy. And, in reality, a lot of other people were also going through acne. And so it's difficult. And, some of those people who have clear skin then, they're breaking out now. And so it's like, it's so random and
Yeah.
people can me at any age that, but yeah, it definitely made me feel like, not that great, but yeah.
No, it's a freaky feeling. Like I've seen people go from 0 to 100, and especially in high school to college, and it's like they're a different person because of their skin improvement, right? Because it's like, okay, I don't have to hide behind a camera anymore. I don't have to see people staring at me and judging me based on how I look. And unfortunately, the era we live in, we're living off a cyber, constant scrolling kind of environment. So I think we're always constantly judging, even without realizing.
Mhm.
But that's awesome that you kind of work through that, and your skin looks amazing now. So
Thank
just
you.
want to
I
throw that
mean,
out there.
but you know what? I still break out. Like, and I feel like I try to not use filters, and I try to show my skin
Yeah,
on like something like I have these videos where I, like zoom in on my pores, my acne, because I want people to know that like even though it's more clear than it was before. I mean, I still do break out, and I think like, and that's important for people to know is that like any time during your life, like you're never gonna have like glass skin. Like glass skin is just not a thing. It's like it's this fake like filter that we're labeling on people, and it's like, well, in reality, like everyone does have pores, everyone has blackheads, everyone breaks out. And so I hope people know, like, while you're listening to this, that like, yeah, mental health affects your skin, but at the same time, like, you have to try your best to not let it affect you and get you down, because like your skin can go up and down no matter what you do. But inner beauty, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I actually had blackheads too until one day I was like, "What is a blackhead?" And like,
Yeah.
I was with a friend and they just like took a clip and I was like, "Oh shoot, I do have a blackhead." So
Oh my gosh.
it was the weirdest thing in the world, and it's actually very satisfying to watch on YouTube for some weird
Yeah,
reason.
it is. It is. Yeah.
It is, right? Like it's just like the I don't know what's about it. I don't want to get into detail about it because
Yeah.
it's kind of gross when you talk about it, but
It's very
it is an
satisfying.
interesting thing. It is super satisfying. Yes, yes. And it's just one of those things where like it looks like amazing to just get it out of someone. So have you removed blackheads from someone? I'm just curious to know.
I have for my brother. I've removed blackheads from his nose.
Oh my god. Yeah, you probably loved it.
Secretly loved
So
it.
awesome. Is there one thing that people generally are surprised when they find what's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you that they don't know already?
Um, it's a hard question.
Besides the skincare, is there like something that I guess you do on a day to day that people don't know? Or like
Um,
for example, I do CrossFit. People don't know that. So
mhm. I I mean, I
um,
love working out. I mean, some of my OG followers might know because at the very beginning of my Instagram journey, I was posting a lot about yoga and fitness. Nowadays, I don't share much of that, but I love fitness. My brother is a bodybuilder, so he has showed me the ins and outs of fitness and working out. So that's something I really like to do. And then I also love to meditate. My grandparents are really into like meditation. I think it's been really great for my mental health because I'm someone who gets stressed very easily, and so meditating is really great for me. So yeah.
no, that's awesome. I used to use a Calm app, and then now I just go on YouTube and do guided meditation and just 5 to 10 minutes of listening to oceans or white noise. It's
Yeah.
really calming because those breathing in and breathing out exercises really help. And I felt like I've met so many people along the way that they started implementing that in their habits. So, how often do you meditate? Do you meditate like every week or every day?
I mean, I try to do every day, but even every day, it might only be for like a few minutes. I just try to do a little bit of breath meditation, like nothing fancy. But I think just that practice itself has helped me that like when I am stressed or in a stressful situation, even if I'm not like in my room, like surrounded by candles and like in my meditation space, like I can still, go back to like focusing on my breath and just like calming down. So I think, yeah, that's been how I sort of practice it.
Yeah, I mean, with me personally, I have a lot of I guess it's less now for sure. But when it comes to mental health, I have a lot of anxiety, or I did with driving and stuff. So when I used to like meditate or even go on meditation retreats, sometimes it would just feel so good because there was like-minded people around me, and it wasn't the only one thinking I went a little crazy.
Yeah,
And now it's at an all-time low. So I think meditation has a lot of benefits that we're not even aware of. So, it's just one of those things. And I encourage anyone that's listening to kind of go to like a meditation retreat or surround yourself with like minded people. Maybe people in skincare, maybe people like in other genres like fitness. But I think it's one of those things where like it'll benefit you as a human. So,
definitely. Yeah.
um, yeah, cool. So I know you're also big on veganism.
Mm.
So veganism wise, like, is there anything like what's like your favorite thing? I guess to usual like how do you I know you like but what kind of vegan protein do you use?
Vegan protein, I do tofu and tempeh, seitan sometimes, a lot of lentils, and recently I've been trying like the Go macro bars from Trader Joe's. Those are really good. They only have like 10 or 11 grams of protein per bar, but they taste really good. So, but yeah, mostly I don't really do that much powder. I usually just try to get it from like, real food.
And I also realized that you try to make your parents go into veganism. So let's talk about that. Like, are they still vegan?
They got me into that. They were
Oh,
vegan before me, yeah.
they got you into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
I was
wow.
I was vegetarian, but then my dad turned vegan and my mom turned vegan, and then when I wanted to go vegan from my skin, it was so easy because we already had like vegan butter in the house and soy milk, and it was so easy. And so then, they're the ones, 100% credit to them.
Awesome, great. And who knew parents like know the right way to like skincare too in a weird sense? Because I think going vegan is so healthy for your skin. It's insane.
It is.
I've known it's like one of those things where people are cured from a lot of things too, just from veganism. So I think that's cool. And how long have you been, I guess, vegan for now?
About like 13-ish years or so. Yeah.
Holy crap, that's awesome. That should be an achievement.
Yeah.
It's a long time coming.
A long
So you
time.
don't, I guess, you don't ever crave like dairy or anything like that, or anything like that.
I
Is it just
do.
something like you're just so used
I mean, I
to?
am
Okay.
used to it, but I think like there are certain things like, when you smell like a cheese pizza or like you see all your friends eating ice cream, you're like, oh my God, I wish I could have that. But there's like some good alternatives now. There's like a good vegan Nutella that they have, and the vegan cheese has come a long way as well. So I think, it's become a lot easier now. I think, when I was in college, it was difficult. The dining halls didn't always have like, vegan food, and when all your friends are eating stuff and you're hungry and you're up late at night studying, it's like, I want to eat anything. But yeah, I think like the whole vegan food industry has come a really long way, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah, even and correct me if I'm wrong, but Impossible Burger is vegan too, right? So I always have it like when I go out because I try to be vegan as possible, but I'm like semi-vegan. But I try. But I try to be semi-vegan as much as I can. But I think it's still healthy, and for one to just even live by half life, I mean, you're still going to see benefits. It's almost like intermittent fasting, but like vegan, going the vegan route because it is very hard. But I think if you're doing it for 13 years, you're at that point in time where just okay, this is like great, let me do it because I've seen so many people try different things, especially when it comes to veganism. Um, is there a support group that I guess you look up to for veganism, like just friends or anyone, or like that motivate you as well?
Um, Mostly my parents, but I do have a really good friend who she used to eat meat and she's completely vegan now. She's actually mostly raw vegan diet, and so she really motivates me to try to have more raw vegan foods. I think a lot of the vegan foods I have mostly cooked, and a lot of them are Indian, and so she definitely has a different sort of diet than me, and it's I get all my smoothie recipes from her and everything, and smoothie bowls, and so she's definitely someone, one of my close friends who I definitely look up to. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And I think like having that kind of support group is very helpful because when you have a close friend, like they're always just like motivating you to be better and stuff. Like I have a close friend who always yells at me if I don't go to the gym. So I'm also terrified of calling him back, if you know what I mean, because it's like they're gonna like give you a whole lecture and it's like, let me just
Yeah.
not call him or something. So, um, do you have a specific kind of favorite book and what or something? Do you have like a specific kind of favorite book and why?
um Honestly, I don't know about a specific book.
You
I read *Sapiens* recently, I guess. I really liked *Sapiens*, but right now I'm reading actually the best short stories of 2022, right here, and it's really good. I'm liking it so far. It's definitely a lot of the stories are like based during like COVID times, and so it's really interesting. But yeah,
No, that's
I,
awesome. I'm unfortunately not a full on reader, but I did read like 8 to 10 books this year. So one of the books that I guess like spoke out to me was just like I would say like let me throw one of them out there. I would say like Atomic Habits by James Clear.
oh,
So
I've
it's just
read
about like yeah, so it's a great book, and I love like all the laws he gives or the habits that really make you into a more of a productive person. I also consider myself to be half type A, so I'm very like unplanning. So it bothers me when I don't get things done, but it won't fully ruin my schedule. But I am somewhat type A. Like if you just mess up like some critical part of my day, I'll like be a wreck. So
yeah.
you know, but yeah, no, that's awesome, and I would love for you to like share that book because it's just great to know, just from
Yeah,
your mindset
yeah,
and stuff. So,
definitely.
um, yeah, awesome. Is there a celebrity that you inspire to be like, or that like kind of is an inspiration to you?
Ooh. Um, I don't know. You're gonna have to cut this question out. I have no idea.
Table it. It's fine. It's fine. No worries. Um, okay. Cool. Cool. So is there any advice you would like to give to our viewers about skincare,
Um,
or is it just kind of like just trial and error or something?
no, I mean, I don't think it's trial and error. I definitely think that the first step, if you've never really done anything with your skin, is to just figure out what skin type you are. Like an easy way is after 30 minutes after you wash your face. If your T zone's oily but your cheeks are tight or dry, then you have combination skin. If you're feeling tight and dry, you have dry skin. If you're oily, you have oily skin. And then after that, just think about and figure out what products are right for you. And if you need help, you can always message me. And I also do skin
Yeah,
consults,
of
and
course.
ever need help with, figuring out a routine that works for you, feel free to reach out. But yeah, I think, also just not getting down about your skin and just do your best, do your routine every day, but then go to sleep and, whatever happens, happens. If you wake up with a pimple, it's okay. It'll go away. It's not forever. So yeah.
Is there any new product? Like I know, like when it comes out, like I guess I'm just speaking from like a tech perspective because I'm into tech. So like when a new MacBook comes out, I'm like, oh, I recommend this MacBook versus this laptop.
Yeah.
Is there? And I could be completely wrong, but when it comes to skin, is there any new like products that you recommend like to people that are just like in general good? Because I feel like people could just benefit from it, So
Yeah. I mean, in terms of new products, I think the one newer product that's pretty good is the CeraVe cleansing balm. It's like a makeup removing balm. That one's pretty good. But in general, not new products, but I'd say like some good staples are honestly, I really like CeraVe products. Their hydrating facial wash is really good and gentle. They have a good retinol too. They have a great vitamin C serum that won't clog your pores. A lot of them do, so you have to be careful. So I really like that brand. Yeah.
isn't retinol like a essential part of anti-aging or something? Or
Yeah.
isn't it like a essential like I don't know, is it like a vitamin or what is it exactly? If you don't
It's
mind me
a
asking.
vitamin A derivative, and basically, topical vitamin A can help to fade dark spots and increase skin cell turnover, helps with acne, helps with pigmentation. And so it's one of those ingredients that, I think could benefit basically everyone. It's really great. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Do you want to do a rapid fire round if that's cool?
Ooh, sure. Let's do it.
All right, dope. So this is something we're gonna learn about you. Mountain or beaches?
Beaches.
All right, cool. Do you like caffeine or decaf?
Ooh, decaf.
Ooh, okay, okay, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people like caffeine more, so I expect board games or video games.
Ooh, board game.
Okay, okay, so you're not a gamer. Gotcha. CeraVe or face masks?
Ooh, this is so good. It's CeraVe. 100%.
I made it up too, which is pretty funny. CeraVe, okay, okay. Reading or writing?
I think reading. I enjoy reading. It's relaxing.
I'm weird. I like writing because I like gratitude lists. But then again, reading is kind of fun too. I don't know. I guess I'll go writing. Christmas or New Year's?
Ooh, New Year's.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
What if your family's watching? I was kidding.
ball drop and New Year's resolutions. I like all that.
Sick. And are you a day person or a night person?
Ooh. I think I'm becoming a night person, but I used to be like hardcore day person.
Okay, so you're changing, I
Um,
guess, like your skin, just changing around.
yeah.
Awesome. And I know quiche is your favorite comfort food, but do you have another comfort food that's really good?
Ooh. Pasta. Love pasta.
Ooh, pasta, penne or pesto?
Ooh. Um,
There's a lot of.
I like penne.
Okay.
Penne with
Oh, oh, okay, penne with what?
pesto.
Oh, penne with pesto. Okay, I never had that. I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I think I got everything I needed. Is there anything you wanted to ask me or wanted to talk about on this podcast that we haven't covered already, just to be, transparent?
Um, Nothing that I can think of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Up to you. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're good. As far as mental health goes and stuff, thank you so much for coming on and for skincare as well. And I'll definitely tell whoever the audience is to like kind of reach out to you. What's your handle, by the way, so you can plug it in
Oh,
video?
or um, it's so my Instagram is my name with three N's and four I's. It's SHIVANNNIII. And then my TikTok and YouTube is Skin by Shiv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's more of a common one. Okay. So Skin by Shiv is your TikTok and your YouTube, and your handle is Shivani with three N's and then four I's.
I
Great.
know.
Awesome.
I
That's
know.
hilarious.
I think I know how to change it, but I don't know if I'm gonna mess with the algorithm, so I have not done that yet.
Yeah. But that's hilarious. I feel like if someone wants to find you, you
I
can
know.
totally just tell them like it's the Shivani with one eye.
Yeah.
It's funny. Awesome. So thank you so much for coming on, and yeah, we'll be looking forward to talking to you again. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course.